So the first question is from Linda Jack.
Trust my luck.
Yeah.
Where are you, Linda? There you are. Don't give her the microphone. No, sorry, next question.
You ready for this? Nick, you know I was a fervent supporter of yours in the leadership campaign, and one of the things I said was that I would trust you with my life so I could trust you with my party. I still think I can trust you with my life. Can I still trust you with my party?
That's a Jack classic. Of course you can, Linda. Look, you and I are old friends, but you and I have sort of disagreed on some policy things. And for those who don't know Linda is one of our sort of foremost campaigners on issues of social justice, dealing with inequality, tackling poverty. I guess what I'd say to you, Linda, is that whilst I know you harbour doubts about this coalition government, don't forget you are a member and you are a leading activist in a party which has restored the earnings limit for pensioners, something which the Labour government never did in 13 years, which has dramatically increased child tax credits, which has taken 900,000 people out of paying any income tax at all who are on low incomes, and will take millions more out of paying income tax, who reversed the grotesque inequality in Labour's tax system, in which a multimillionaire could pay less tax on their investments than their cleaner did on their wages. We imposed a levy on the banks, which the Labour Party never did, and which is now trying to deal with a deficit, not out of some sense of relish. You know, as Danny Alexander said up here this morning, none of us went into politics to make cuts, but there's nothing fair or socially just about asking our children and our grandchildren to pay off our debts. And you can't, however much the Labour leadership cabinets might just want to sort of wish away the fact of this deficit which they created, you and I can't wish it away. And you cannot build social justice on the sands of debt. It can't be done. That's me ending. That's your go.
I appreciate everything you say, and I appreciate everything that you have achieved in terms of our policies. What I am less happy about is that we have a commitment to the poor. We say no one should be enslaved by poverty, and yet so many of these cuts are going to disproportionately affect the poorest, and particularly our young people. I see nothing for young people at all. All our youth policy, which you know I care passionately about, I don't see it in the coalition agreement. So I'd really like to know, what are we going to do about that?
The best thing that I think we could do you and I talked about this before. You and Lynn and others did fantastic work on the youth policy paper a few months ago. And one of the insights that you confirmed, and we all confirmed as a party before, is that if you want the best for our young people, if you want the best for teenagers, if you particularly want the best for people making that difficult transition from college, from school, from university, from further education into work, yes, we need to get that right, and we're working incredibly hard to introduce a more progressive way of funding higher education and further education. But the key insight, which I think our party has really kind of made its mark on in recent years, is that if you don't start early, if you don't get the early years right, if you don't get a child's schooling right, you're constantly going to be running to catch up later. And that's why I think the pupil preview is an unbelievably important policy. Something I first sort of wrote about in a pamphlet I co-authored with Richard Grayson sort of 10 years ago. A simple insight that we saw when we went to visit schools in Scandinavia and Holland. Why is it that their education systems were able to break the link between disadvantage at home and underperformance in the classroom in a way that we haven't been able to? Why is it after 30 years of all the money that's gone into schooling from Labour, you've still got these very stubborn inequalities which you care about? And that's what we're going to try and do something about with this pupil premium. It's not a magic wand solution. There are other things we need to do. It is a huge, progressive step forward. And I think that's something which we should be proud of. We haven't delivered it yet. You've got to keep our feet to the fire that we deliver it. But it's right there in our coalition agreement, and it wouldn't have been if we were not there at that table in the government in the first place. take one or two more questions.